Welcome and good afternoon if you're on the East Coast, and good morning if you're on the West Coast. And this is the ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. I'm Jordan Kent alongside Coney here. We'll be bringing you all of the action as 8 of the top players, and yes, you guessed it, US and Canada, will be punching and stretching their way to the finals in this ARMS tournament. And Coney, you look at the skill level of these players, what are you most excited to see?
Honestly, there's so many excellent players here, and what I think I'm the most excited for is that we have 8 unique characters in this top 8. So it's not like you're going to see a ton of one character. You're going to see an excellent showcase of everything that the game has to offer. These guys are from all over the United States and Canada, just bringing their A game, just some of the best players we have in ARMS.
Obviously, any tournament or competition regards has rules, of course, that you have to follow. So let's take a look at the rules for the action today. It's a single elimination bracket, and all characters in all ARMS are allowed. So the book is completely open. You'll get a chance to see all of these characters in action, as we said. And then 99 seconds per round is the time limit. Games. Best 2 of 3 rounds determines a winner of a game. A match, finalists will play best 3 of 5 games against one another for each stage of the bracket. Once a player has won 3 games, the losing player is eliminated. That is what single elimination is. Let's take a look at the stages we'll be competing in today. And you take a look at these, Coney, and obviously these aren't just your standard run-of-the-mill stages. This is something that characters and players are going to have to consider as they continue to fight each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Each of these stages brings something different and unique to the table. It's not like it's just like a flat plane, something like Sparring Ring. You're going to see a huge range of, if you see somebody on Ribbon Ring, they're going to have to use the boxes that come up in a defensive manner or kind of change their strategy around, or something like DNA Lab, which has the pillars where people want to kind of maneuver around those. It's going to be an excellent showcase. I'm really excited to see how the players use these stages in their strategy.
Yeah, it's a very exciting aspect of ARMS as far as how the stages can really change your potential strategy. Now let's look at the bracket and see who will be facing off against each other. And here you have it. 8 of the top players in US and Canada, and we'll tell you a little bit more about each player as they get set for their match. But initially, as you look at it, is there anybody that we should really be keeping an eye on here early on?
Absolutely. So I've got 2 players I want to shout out specifically. So the first is GoreMagala. He's the first seed for this tournament, one of the best ARMS players in the world. Actually got 2nd place at EVO Japan 2018. The guy is a Helix master. He is the best Helix on the planet. He does stuff that nobody else can even touch. Guy is just absolutely incredible. Really excited to see him. The second person I want to shout out is Resolve. He's one of the best Springman players on the entire Earth. Guy is just absolutely incredible. We're going to see what he can do. He likes to go more of a traditional, Springman with double toaster strategy, so I want to see how he uses that.
Well, you mentioned GoreMagala. He will be participating in our very first match versus Pineapple. So let's go ahead and get that set up. And, what's interesting to me is I pick up this game, and obviously I'm not nearly at the level that these players are.
Not many are.
No,
yeah.
But you look at the expert strategy. What makes these players so good, and what are some of the things that we should be seeing when it comes time for these matches?
They just have such an innate understanding of of really the spacing differential between them and their opponent, and knowing how to create some distance, have their arms at the perfect length, be able to dodge their opponent's punches, and be able to bait them out.
Let's go ahead and get things started right here. GoreMagala going as Helix, as you said. Meanwhile, Pineapple going as Kid Cobra, and Pineapple going with the cracker in the right arm as well, too, and then using one of the newer arms, the clapback in its left. Tell me about that clapback and how Kid Cobra, a.k.a. Pineapple, might be using that in this match. 60 seconds left in this one. Plenty of time. GoreMagala at about 50% health. Rush attack going at this moment. Meanwhile, Pineapple at 75% health still has that rush attack ready to go. Kid Cobra, Pineapple in the lead, but here comes that rush attack from Kid Cobra, chipping away, and right there, making quick work of GoreMagala. 46 seconds left in this one, and Kid Cobra using that clapback and the cracker to go ahead and get this early victory in the first round. Now, GoreMagala, as Helix, going to go ahead and switch to 2 buffs this time around, and we've talked about this before. Sometimes you'll have characters use 2 of the same arm. Thoughts behind that?
down to is these arms are so versatile. You're able to aim them. As you can see him shooting through the crowd a little bit. He's able to dodge back and forth using Helix's mobility and movement. And he's able to take his shots as he needs them.
65 seconds left. Both players still have their rush attacks fully ready to go at any moment, so that'll certainly turn the tide. Kid Cobra, Pineapple the first one, and connects yet again. And you look at how important it is to connect with these rush attacks as Pineapple has GoreMagala on the ropes. Pineapple, however, taking that rush attack from GoreMagala. GoreMagala trying to hang on with just 15% health.
Yeah, the problem is that he's in the corner a little bit. You see Pineapple trying to close that space, trying to keep him in that little pocket. And Kid Cobra is so good when he's kind of up in your face, especially with that clapback. GoreMagala has to be very careful with how he throws his arms.
GoreMagala able to get that buff around the clapback. Critical hit there on Pineapple. However, it could be just a couple more punches until GoreMagala gets knocked out. But here comes the rush attack from GoreMagala. Connects for 115 damage. Not enough to knock out Pineapple, though. Pineapple's Kid Cobra has 15 seconds left to either wait this one out or can try to go for the KO. 12 seconds left. Pineapple with that rush attack, and that will do it. Pineapple taking the first round, as far as the first game, against GoreMagala. And what we saw from Pineapple was his ability to use the clapback and really stay behind that clapback at all times and really let that clapback absorb a lot of the punches from GoreMagala.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, when the buff had such a hard time getting all the way around the clapback. It doesn't have such a wide curve, something like a Slap-A-Manda or Slam-A-Manda or something like that, or a Boomerang. So really, GoreMagala had very few options in terms of going around. I honestly think the clapback was a strategic decision by Pineapple because GoreMagala is known to use kind of two straight arms and then just using Helix's his ability to kind of use Helix's back and forth and be able to shoot the punches like that. I think the clapback was something that he was prepared for. Yeah,
we're getting really excited here. It's already early here on the West Coast, and we already can't just wait to see this next match here as well, too. Helix versus Kid Cobra once again. Helix as GoreMagala going into this one. Pineapple going with Kid Cobra. However, not using the clapback this time as GoreMagala going with two Fun Chucks. And the strategy, when you look at the Fun Chucks, they're going to operate differently depending on if your opponent is on the ground or in the air. Kid Cobra, a.k.a. Pineapple, however, using that cracker. And that cracker is going to cover a pretty wide surface area and give you a chance to connect with 1, 2, or 3 punches as you see sort of the streamers come out of that. 78 seconds left right now. Pineapple, GoreMagala still sort of feeling each other out in Master Mummy's stage.
Yeah, and you can see why GoreMagala wanted to go with the double nunchuck setup this time because, as I was saying before, the buff was not able to get around the clapback, but it looks like Pineapple has prepared himself as well. He's gotten rid of the clapback, and he's using a nunchuck of his own. I'm really, you can see kind of the levels upon levels happening here.
Pineapple connecting with the rush attack there, though, so both fighters essentially have 50% health, 50 seconds left in this one. However, GoreMagala, a nice 1-2 combo with those Fun Chucks, going to go ahead and knock back Kid Cobra. And then you've got Kid Cobra right now, and the mobility for Kid Cobra has been very vital in this match because you see the ability to dash multiple times is going to help you not only just avoid the punches, but not take any chip damage as well, too.
Absolutely. You can see that cracker coming out right there. Pineapple's got to land a few more hits. GoreMagala is sitting on the rush. He's going to try to take out his last bit of health, but he might be able to hold on to it. Now he's going to let it rip. Throws it out right there, trying to break the arm. He is able to do it, but Pineapple still has a slither of health.
And Pineapple with a rush attack ready to go. Interesting to see if Pineapple is going to use that or not. Looks like Pineapple going to save it for that last round. And take me through the strategy of that. If you've got a rush attack ready to go, but you're only one punch away from getting KO'd, do you want to waste it at that point or save it for a great start to the next round?
Really, it depends. It depends on how the situation with the rounds are going. If it's last game, Pineapple starting this one off very strong, so he's opted to go for the free, 300 damage just right off the bat on GoreMagala, and then now he's charging it back up, so he opts to use it right away. Sometimes you want to use it a little bit later. It really just depends on so many different factors.
And keep an eye on GoreMagala's Helix. Helix, one of his special abilities, obviously, is the ability to stretch up in the air and move left and right, and that's very advanced right there, to be able to move and dodge like that while still aiming your arms. And GoreMagala connecting with the throw that's going to do 150. GoreMagala underneath 50% health, has a rush attack ready to go, but Kid Cobra, as you said, already has his rush attack all charged up.
Yeah, and you can see how aggressive GoreMagala is being, despite Pineapple being in his face with a huge life lead. He is going to throw out those double nunchucks, only 60% damage, nothing too crazy on that. Pineapple with a full rush of his own. He's trying to close his distance and force a mistake from GoreMagala. Looks like he got it, and finally he will take that round.
Pineapple connecting yet again with the rush attack. And what I'm seeing early on in these couple of games between GoreMagala and Pineapple is Pineapple's ability to really connect on every single rush attack, and that can clearly turn the tide of any match.
Absolutely. It really comes down to that. So many differentials can be made based on how good you are at landing that rush. And a lot of people just use it as a defensive mechanism. You know, as soon as somebody throws out a punch, you can kind of deflect it. But having a mastery of when to use that super is very, very strong.
Pineapple bringing the clap back into this one. The clap back and the Coolerang. So that ice attribute going to slow down Helix, maybe take away Helix's ability to dodge and move as quickly as you can connect with a charge. Burchuck.
Absolutely. You can see him kind of circling around. And see, the middle of the stage has now been taken out, so you can't have a direct path to your opponent. I think this really benefits GoreMagala, unless Pineapple can get right in his face as he activates the rush. That's 355 damage.
Pineapple once again connecting with the rush attack here. However, GoreMagala with a fully charged rush attack and misses yet. However, going to get 260 damage. You'll take what you can get in this one, certainly. However, that clapback providing plenty of protection for Pineapple as Kid Cobra. 1-1 on the rounds. Whoever wins this round will win another pivotal game in the best 3 out of 5 in this match between GoreMagala and Pineapple. 33 seconds left. Pineapple down to a couple more hits of life left. However, GoreMagala still above 25%. 25 seconds left in this one. You mentioned now you've got Kid Cobra, Pineapple using the trampoline to his advantage in the middle.
Yeah, he's really trying to move up, try to force a mistake by GoreMagala while still moving around and keeping himself mobile. Both these guys are trying to get their rush. It looks like GoreMagala is going to have it. The chip damage is going to be enough, and he just barely takes it.
And we've talked about that before. Yes, you can block those rush attacks, but that chip damage can add up so much. And what we saw is GoreMagala realized, listen, Pineapple doesn't have that much health, regardless of whether or not he blocks this. He's most likely going to get KO'd if I use that rush attack. And it seems like GoreMagala's decision to go with the 2 fun chucks really allowed him the ability to take advantage and get some punches that landed on Kid Cobra that weren't normally in that first game.
Yeah, the fact that the fun chucks have a little bit more of an arc than something like the Biff, the initial arc is kind of like this. It's sort of like a parentheses. Meanwhile, the Biff can curve, but it's after it comes out a little bit, so it's able to maneuver around the clapback. Just excellent counterplay from GoreMagala. I'm very interested to see what kind of arms these guys take to this next game.
Both are going with the same characters. GoreMagala going to fiddle around, probably going to go with 2 fun chucks yet again. Pineapple going back to what worked the first time, though. The clapback and the cracker. And why does the cracker pair so well with that clapback?
Really, it's a question of how direct do you want to be. And Pineapple now has one of the most direct arms in the game in the cracker. It's so fast. When it's charged, it forces that hard knockdown. And meanwhile, he has the clapback for a more defensive playstyle. He's got GoreMagala in the corner, forcing him to jump out. He didn't quite cover it like I thought he would, but he has the option for both super aggressive and very defensive play.
GoreMagala already has Pineapple down to 50% health, 68 seconds left in this one. And you look at the fact that Helix, this is Helix's home stage right now. You've got the DNA tubes that you can dodge and duck around. You've got to protect this house. GoreMagala with a fully charged rush meter at this point, but same thing with Pineapple. Who's going to go ahead and use it first and find that opening? Right now, GoreMagala getting a couple attacks blocked. GoreMagala dodges the rush attack, but then Kid Cobra able to dodge and get some damage back on GoreMagala.
Yeah, that was so pivotal. Excellent use of the clapback on that. You saw Pineapple really get that block into the dash in. It really looked like GoreMagala had his number, but Pineapple was able to get through. It looks like he might be able to take this round. All he needs to do is land one more, and he does.
That cracker connects with GoreMagala. Going to go ahead and get the KO for Pineapple. Pineapple takes the first round in this 3rd game. Both players already have 1 game in this best 3 of 5 matchup in our opening round of the ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. Early on this one, though, GoreMagala connecting with a couple of fun chucks, going to take about 20% damage off of Pineapple. Pineapple, though, trying to dodge and weave, use that DNA tube, moving left and right. 83 seconds left in this one, and using the DNA tubes and that clapback is going to give Pineapple a lot of defensive options here.
Definitely. It looks like he's more opting just to try to go in straight away. He's got the cracker, which will come out right away and really penetrate GoreMagala's defense. You can see him breaking that tube right there, and now GoreMagala sort of in the corner, doesn't have nowhere to go. He gets the rush right there. He's getting 340 damage out of that and a hard knockdown. GoreMagala is on the ropes.
Pineapple's known for their sweet citrusy taste and connecting with rush attacks. If you picked up anything else from this match so far, 50 seconds left. GoreMagala with the full rush meter, though, has to find that critical time. GoreMagala is in danger of dropping another round, and that would be another game. GoreMagala trying to connect, though, but no, once again, Pineapple, just like the thick, spiny outside, able to defend any attacks right there.
Beautiful work right there. Only getting 45 out of that rush. He finally breaks one of the final DNA tubes, and GoreMagala has nowhere to run. He's so low.
25 seconds left. GoreMagala down to about 10% health. It just takes a couple more connections on punches here for Pineapple to send GoreMagala to the canvas. And just like that, Pineapple's going to take the second game in this best-of-5 matchup between GoreMagala, who was second at EVO Japan. So you look at this might be potentially a huge upset in this tournament.
Yeah, this would be huge. I mean, right now, Pineapple up 2-1. All he needs is one more game, 2 more rounds, and he might be able to take it. Having the 8th seed defeat the 1st seed, especially in a single elimination tournament like this, would be absolutely huge and totally open up the rest of the bracket.
And what I continue to notice, it seems like this is just coming down to rush attacks. GoreMagala not able to connect with his. Meanwhile, Pineapple seems to connect on literally every single rush attack. When you look at the difference between chip damage that might equate to about 50 damage versus connecting with the rush attack that is 250 to 350, that is turning the tide of all of these games that we've seen so far.
Yeah, really, having a mastery of when to use the rush and how to use the rush is so important. It looks like Pineapple is just getting the upper hand as we go back to DNA Lab for this potentially final game.
Another matchup in DNA Lab this time. GoreMagala going to go with 2 buffs. Pineapple's Kid Cobra going to go with that clapback, tried and true, but then this time going with the Burchuck. And the difference with the Burchuck when you maybe had so much success with the Cracker is this may be thinking, hey, I assume GoreMagala is going to try and counter what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw another ingredient in this sauce.
I think so. I think that he sort of smelled out that the buff was coming out, and so he wanted to go for something that kind of curved a little bit. He still has the clapback, which is going to be an excellent answer to the buff. As we dance around on DNA Lab a little bit here, he is going to get the rush, and finally GoreMagala landing that rush. That's what he needs.
GoreMagala getting a critical landing on that rush right now, using just a couple of charged buffs right now against Pineapple. Kid Cobra has Pineapple at under 50% health, but Pineapple has the rush attack ready to go, and Pineapple connecting yet again with the rush attack. Unbelievable. This is how Pineapple's been able to get the upper hand in all of these games so far.
Yeah, he just keeps pushing GoreMagala to the corner, getting his back on the wall, and then activating the rush, getting 300 to 350 damage. That's a third of your life. That's 30% of your life. That's insane.
30 seconds left. GoreMagala has a rush attack ready to go. Can GoreMagala connect with the rush attack? Yes. Needed that one like water in the desert, folks. 20 seconds left. GoreMagala, Pineapple, they're both in the danger zone right now, so it's blinking red, and hang on tight because a couple more punches could prove a critical round victory for either one of these fighters in this best 3 out of 5. 8 seconds left. Everything's red on the screen. It's like a bad spelling test, folks. 4 seconds left. GoreMagala trying to get one more hit, but no, the rush attack from Pineapple with 2 seconds left will give Pineapple another round. Pineapple 1 round away from taking this match from one of the highest ranked players coming into this tournament.
That was so important. The fact that he had a rush and GoreMagala didn't meant that GoreMagala knew that he was in dire straits, trying to get back to the corner, trying to wait out those last 2 seconds, but he was not able to execute. And right now, Pineapple is only 1 round away from defeating Seed 1.
GoreMagala against the ropes needs this round. Meanwhile, Pineapple trying to get one of the biggest upsets already early on in this tournament. You've got, and it's the only matchup of this tournament, so it's going to be a big upset, of course. But then GoreMagala connecting with that rush attack, and it seems like GoreMagala has found his rhythm as far as connecting with those.
Definitely. He needs to. I mean, his back is to the ropes. The chips are down. He needs to figure out something right here as Pineapple switch back to the Cracker. There's so many levels happening here where these guys are trying to find their optimal arms combo.
Pineapple has a charged rush attack, so if you're GoreMagala, you got to make sure you do not let Pineapple connect with that rush attack. You've got Pineapple really down to 1 more hit, and there GoreMagala says, I ain't done yet. GoreMagala, a convincing victory that round, 75% health left. And let's see if GoreMagala has maybe learned a little bit about Pineapple and Pineapple strategies with that clapback and that Cracker. However, rush attacks charged for both players. You know on this deciding round, those are going to be pivotal.
Absolutely, yeah. I think when the chips are down, I mean, GoreMagala, he's not the #1 seed for no reason. This guy knows how to take games. I think he's really got his rhythm back, took that last round in dominating fashion. The impetus is now on Pineapple to bring something new to the table. And if he's able to land this rush first, I think he's going to be at a great spot.
Both fighters hanging on to their rush, and GoreMagala trying to connect, and yes, will connect for 225 damage. And it seems like GoreMagala is doing a better job of keeping his distance, and GoreMagala going to Oh, gets connected, though, by Pineapple's rush attack. Both fighters right around 75% health. However, GoreMagala getting closer to 50. 55 seconds left here. Kid Cobra, controlled by Pineapple, looking for the early upset in this tournament. GoreMagala knows he has to connect on a couple critical punches here, keeping his distance yet again. Can't seem to hit with those biffs, though. And however, Kid Cobra using that clapback and just the defensive capabilities of Pineapple. Pineapple has GoreMagala down to under 25% health.
He's so close here, and look at the rush meter. He's trying to build it up. He does have it first. He's going to let it rip. GoreMagala is so low, and Pineapple defeats GoreMagala.
How do you like that, folks? First round matchup in this ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. We already have a shocker as Pineapple defeats GoreMagala. GoreMagala, as you said, second at EVO Japan. And what did we see there when you looked at really the whole body of work in this entire match?
Sure. I really think what it came down to was Pineapple was just really one step ahead of the game in terms of arms choice. You could see him always choosing the clapback when GoreMagala was going for the buff. Meanwhile, whenever he went for something else like nunchucks, funchucks, he would opt to go for something a little different. He either had the cracker, depending on if he was using a curved arm, or he would use something like the Burchuck if he was going for the straight arm. So it just seemed like Pineapple was always one step ahead. Not to mention, like you said, his usage of rush was just like perfect.
Yeah, and I think that was really what told the story of that match between Pineapple and GoreMagala was the fact that Pineapple was able to use that clapback so efficiently and then connect on those rush attacks. And it goes to show you why those are so critical. And GoreMagala, it goes to show you just how talented everybody is. For
Absolutely.
As accredited as GoreMagala is, to be ousted in the first round shows you this is a very deep and very talented field.
Oh, yeah, you can't sleep on anybody. Like, these 8 players, some of the best 8 players in the world, not just the U.S. and Canada. I mean, these guys are all centralized around here, but don't make no mistake. These guys can hold their own against anybody on the planet. It's unreal.
All right, let's get you set for our second match as we take an updated look at the brackets. Pineapple advancing to the next round. Meanwhile, our next matchup will be Resolve and Nobi. And as we look at Resolve versus Nobi, you've got a couple fighters here. Give us some notes here on Resolve and what we might be looking for.
Honestly, this was one of the matches I was most excited to look at. These guys, it's Springman versus Twintel, 2 of the top characters in the game. And these guys have played each other so much. They're good friends. They've met at the finals of so many tournaments. And I think in a best 3 out of 5 setting, you're going to see the top level of play as these guys adapt to and kind of change their play style around their opponent.
And what to you makes ARMS so unique as a fighting game? Because obviously you look at all the different options that we see, and just with ARMS and the fact that you've had a chance to be so arms-on, sorry, I'll try to keep the puns to a minimum here. What is it about ARMS and as far as the strategy that goes into this that makes it so addicting?
Just having that almost first person, not quite first person, but kind of that third person, almost second person, really, with how close it is, dynamic of having that 3D space around your opponent, being able to bait out sort of defensive options from them, being able to curve your punches. It's almost sort of like a shooter in a way, in the way that you're aiming your punches. It's totally unique, unlike any other game. And then you bring in the ARMS customization on top of that, where you're able to cater those to your playstyle. There's just so much to learn, and there's such a depth and complexity of the game that's just unmatched.
Yeah, I love the chess match as far as the arms that the players choose. We saw so many switches in that early matchup as well, too. So let's get you to our second match here, Resolve versus Nobi. Resolve going to be going as Springman. Nobi, as you said, as Twintel. And early on, Twintel going with double chillas. Springman as Resolve. Let's just keep it basic and vanilla and go with the normal loadout. Let's go ahead and go with a toaster. And, of course, you're going to go with that Hydra on the right-hand side. Yeah,
of course. And you can see these guys actually using their character's default arms. These are not custom arms. These are just things that are sort of fit to their playstyle. And I think it speaks to, these characters were built with some of these arms in mind, which is how Twintel is so strong with Double Chilla, which is how Resolve is so strong with his Tri-Bolt and the Toaster. As he has Nobi in the corner, he does have the rush on command. Throws out the grab and he lands it. He destroyed it.
Resolve with no issues whatsoever against Twintel in that matchup, and you see right there the use of the Tri-Bolt and the Toaster able to keep Twintel on the ropes.
Yeah, he just came out so strong on that, just kept him on, had about 90% of his health at the end of that game. Absolutely insane. Didn't even have to use his rush. So now we're starting off this game with double rush, both these guys trying to pick their shots very carefully.
86 seconds. We're just getting started in this one. Both fighters with their rush attack ready to go. Twintel going to use that slowdown ability, of course, when any arms come in. That gives you a chance to really choose how you want to counter both fighters, as we said, with that rush attack. And what we saw from Resolve was the ability to keep Twintel at bay and also apply some pressure when needed to and corner Twintel. And right now you've got Twintel trying to connect with the rush attack, and she does as Nobi continues to get some major damage on Resolve.
Yeah, awesome stuff by Nobi. You can see Resolve only got about 20 damage from that rush, plus a little bit of chip, but Nobi, using his correctly, was able to land a lot more. However, the life lead is still a little bit in Resolve's favor. After that punch, it's going back and forth, and you can see Nobi sort of seesawing it back. Excellent grab coming through there.
Nobi seeing Resolve try to guard and gets the throw to connect, and right now Nobi with the advantage on this one. 35 seconds left. Resolve down to about 30% health. Oh, but then nice little combo from Resolve, the couple hits and the throw, and then Nobi going to go with that rush attack. Resolve doing a fine job of blocking that. 25 seconds left. Both fighters right around 30-40% health, but a huge connection on the rush attack by Resolve. This is going to send Nobi into the danger zone at this point. Oh, and then the right-hand charge tribal will send Twintel to the canvas, and a one-game victory early already for Resolve.
Yeah, I was expecting to see something like a grab there coming out of Resolve, because it did seem like Nobi was, so pressured back. But, I mean, these guys are playing at an unmatched level. He obviously knew that Nobi would be prepared for that. Awesome stuff by Resolve, who takes that game really in dominating fashion, I would say.
Yeah, it was interesting with Resolve because at times he was keeping his space throughout the match, but when he was able to get up close to Twintel, was able to apply so much pressure. And you saw some of those combos that led into the throws as well, too. And that's what you notice from these high-level players, is that their timing with when they throw their arms out.
Yeah.
They know when to throw them out without leaving themselves too exposed.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons that you see Springman take that tribal. That tried and true, stun into the grab is guaranteed, so you're going to see that land every single time as Resolve is opting for it once more. Here we are on Sky Arena.
No changes whatsoever in the arms for both players. Resolve still going with that toaster and that tri-ball. Meanwhile, Twintel going with both Chillas here. And you've got Twintel already down to 75% health, and Resolve keeping the higher ground in Sky Arena as well, too.
Yeah, it's so important to stay in the middle of the stage at Sky Arena, just because if you're knocked off, you have to expend your jump to get back there. And as you can tell by Nobi, jumping is not something you really want to do. You can see him stay a lot more grounded, just because when you're in the air, your options are so limited.
Nobi had the higher ground for a moment here. Now both fighters in the middle part of this level here in Sky Arena. Nobi with a fully charged rush attack ready to go. Gets the throw on Resolve. Might not even have to dig into that rush attack. Resolve just one hit away from getting knocked out. Nobi doing a great job of countering back and coming back this round.
Yeah, but one of the scariest things about Springman is once he's below 15% health, all of his punches will be charged. Looks like Nobi won't even have to deal with that as he takes that game. Both of them standing outside the ring for that one.
And that's really a huge bonus to Nobi to not have to use your rush attack to get the KO. Now you have it going into the next round. But, of course, Resolve has his rush attack ready to go. And you see both fighters really just sort of dashing left and right, trying to get a feel for each other. Nobody being too aggressive right now. But here comes the rush attack. Nobi saw the opening and was so quick to get those arms out.
So one of the things that I want to see is how Nobi is going to charge up this next rush, because one of the dominating strategies against Springman is keep your rush, sit on it until you get him below maybe 30 health, and then you're able to pop it and just get past that comeback factor altogether. So I want to see how he's going to charge up on this one.
Nobi at under 50% health. Resolve's got Nobi pinned back right now. Nobi going with those double chillas, as we said. You've got the toaster and tri-bolt for Resolve at this point. 50 seconds left. Nobi down to about 30% health. Neither fighter able to connect with a couple punches here for the last 10 seconds. They're doing a great job of dodging and bobbing and weaving. You know that tri-bolt's going to have a wider area of a horizontal plane to connect with, but the charged Chilla going to go ahead and connect for Nobi, and the throw for Nobi. This will make things a little bit more interesting with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. Resolve was forced to block in that situation since he was hit by the charged Chilla, and Nobi just reading that situation perfectly, getting the grab as these guys are posturing right now, trying to get their rush out.
Resolve getting a couple of hits on Nobi. Nobi has no choice but to go to that rush attack. However, that does nothing at all as Resolve sitting at about 40% health. Nobi at under 25%. Resolve right now might just wait this one out. 11 seconds left. Might not have enough time to get the KO, but you got to avoid getting some damage. Oh, critical throw from Nobi. Will it be enough, though? 3, 2, 1, and the rush attack from Resolve will get the KO with 1 second left. Hey, listen, style points, they don't really matter at all, but you might as well make that victory look good.
Definitely. Resolve really letting it rip on that one because he knew that it was so close in life lead, and it was just a coin toss. Whoever was going to land a little bit of chip damage or maybe even a full-on hit was going to take that round. Didn't even want to deal with it. But now he's at a bit of a disadvantage because Nobi does have that charged rush.
Nobi has the charged rush and the higher ground at this point. However, Resolve able to connect with that charged toaster to create some space and knock back Nobi. Nobi, that's not going to do anything as a rush attack. That's like getting tickled by a feather, folks. 76 seconds left in this one. Resolve at 75% health. Nobi still with a pretty full life bar and gets that throw. It's going to send Resolve to under 50% health. And this is a critical match for Nobi because if you can get this round, you're going to tie the games up 1-1 in the best of 5 games.
Definitely. You could see how this sort of seesaw in terms of the rush charging is playing out. Resolve needs to use his sooner rather than later because Nobi is getting one of his own. He does use it, but at an inopportune time as he's only going to get the chip damage out of that. Meanwhile, Nobi firing back isn't able to get anything out of it.
A couple of bad shooters here, unfortunately, with the rush attack. We've had some rush attacks not connect, but this throw will connect for Resolve, and now you've got the life basically at 40% each for each fighter. Resolve able to break up that throw attempt from Nobi. Nobi with double charge Chillas at this point, trying to slow things down. Resolve can't connect. Charged. Chilla connects, and the throw for Nobi. Nice little combo right there. Resolve down to about 10% health. It's only going to be a couple more punches before Resolve gets KO'd. Can Resolve, with those charged arms and that ability, call it a comeback here? Oh, Resolve, unbelievable. And you see where the ability of Springman makes it so difficult to ice him out.
The guy's not named Resolve for nothing. He is able to slowly bring it back from the jaws of defeat against Nobi there. And you could see Nobi doing everything right. He got the grab, and then he jumped back into the ring so he could have the higher ground. He had excellent presence of mind, but just that comeback factor, that comeback kid that Resolve is, just too strong. Resolve
emerging from the Lazarus pit to get the victory there, and obviously that makes it a 2-0 lead when it comes to the game. So now you're looking at Nobi. Nobi has to win the next 3 games in order to advance. Resolve, meanwhile, you just got to hit copy-paste basically at this point to move on to the next round.
Speaking of that, you can see these guys no change in their arms. We've got the Toaster Tri-Bolt again for Resolve. Meanwhile, you got the double Chilla coming out for Nobi on Twintel. As these guys are on Ribbon Ring for this next game, I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out.
And you see Nobi doing such a great job of keeping those double Chillas charged and likes to go with the quick 1-2 combos. Meanwhile, Resolve doing a little bit more lateral dashing here to avoid those Chillas. And that's what's impressive about these players. Not only are they so good offensively, but they can play great defense while also getting those arms thrown out in quick succession.
Yeah, one of the things they talked about is that Springman actually has this deflect ability where if he charges as he comes out of a dash or as he finishes charging his punch, he'll get this little deflect shockwave that'll knock out any punches around him. So you really have to get in during your right moments. You have such a small window to get your punch in there without it getting knocked away.
Neither fighter able to connect on those rush attacks right there. 44 seconds left. Both fighters sitting at about 75% health. That is until Resolve connects with a nice little 1-2 combo. So health advantage right now for Resolve with 35 seconds left. You've got Twintel just dancing in the middle of the ring with double Chillas, trying to connect with those. But no, another 1-2 punch leading to a throw. Critical combo by Resolve at that point.
There it is again, the charge Tri-Bolt into the grab. You can see him going for that a ton. And I was wondering if Nobi was going to be able to use the Ribbon Ring's defensive attributes a little bit more. As you can see those blocks come up, it really obstructs your view of your opponents. You can't see what they're doing. But Resolve, that Tri-Bolt serving him very well, is able to take out multiple blocks at one time. Nobi has nowhere to go.
And it seems to be that Tri-Bolt is the difference in this round right now, as it's really been able to connect and get some critical hits. And time out right there. Resolve gets the victory for that round due to the health advantage. So while no one gets knocked down to the canvas, Resolve able to outlast Nobi there. Resolve just needs this next round to advance to the semifinals of our ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. Both fighters with a rush attack ready to go. You've got Nobi dancing in the middle right now with double Chillas. Resolve, meanwhile, really likes to use that combo with that toaster. Oh, but both rush attacks engage. And it's going to be Nobi that gets the best of that one, sending Resolve back doing 200 damage.
And really what that came down to were arms choice. So if you look at their arms, Nobi has 2 medium arms in the Chilla and the Chilla. Meanwhile, Resolve has a medium and a light arm. And because of that, Nobi's rush prevailed, because when you use that rush, whoever has the most the heaviest arms is actually going to go through, and that's why Nobi was able to get more damage out of that.
Like a big brother, weight comes in handy in the battle of this matchup here. You've got Resolve under 50% health, Nobi under 50% health, so they're basically equal at this point. Remember, if Resolve wins this round, he'll go ahead and take the game and match between both these fighters and advance to the semifinals. Resolve with a rush attack ready to go. Nobi can't connect. Resolve is going to take a little chip damage right there. Resolve looking for that critical moment. Can he get the KO with his fully charged rush attack? Has Nobi down to 26% health. Does connect here. That's going to send Nobi to just one more kitten kiss before he gets knocked out. Nobi trying to do all that he can to stay alive in this tournament, but it looks like Resolve is going to keep Nobi pushed back. Nobi trying to, but no. And we said it was the one arm that probably made the difference in this matchup, the Tri-Bolt connecting for the critical KO.
Yeah, that Tri-Bolt was the MVA, let's say. Like, it was just absolutely incredible.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good.
I like that. That's good stuff right there. Yeah. And so you looked at that matchup, and once again, what we saw the first time around with GoreMagala in his match was the fact that you saw constant switching of arms in between each character. This time around, they stuck with their arms the entire time, and these are arms that were part of the basic default loadout arms for each of these characters. The Chillas for Twin Tail, and then, of course, the Toaster and the Tri-Bolt for Springman.
Yeah, really, I think what that speaks to is just having such versatility in terms of changing your playstyle depending on what you want to do. I mean, like, Resolve has been doing the same thing with Springman since the beginning of the game. All these new arms comes out, he's like, nah, I don't really need that. He has such solid fundamentals, he can just rock the Toaster and the Tri-Bolt and still make it work.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the updated bracket after our last match. Resolve advances on, so it'll be Resolve versus Pineapple in our first semifinal matchup when we get there. But before we take you there, we're going to get set for our third match, and that's going to be between Gouf and Twin. And as we said, a lot of these fighters are very familiar with each other. What can you tell us about either Gouf or Twin as we get set for match number 3?
Of course. So what we're going to see here is a Lollipop, who's a character you don't really see all that often. Kind of a little, I don't want to say goofy, but, you know, his name is Gouf. But it's a little weird in terms of how this character functions. Looks like he's going up against Dr. Coil on this, actually the newest character, one of the latest characters we've seen in ARMS, just very unique.
Gouf going as Dr. Coil right now, going to go ahead and go with the Toaster in the right arm and then the Hydra in the left arm. Meanwhile, Twin as Lollipop going to go with the Biffler and the Ice Dragon. And let's go ahead and talk about Gouf going as Dr. Coil. You're always levitating, so that means the arms for anyone that's facing you is going to treat Dr. Coils if Dr. Coil's on the ground, so keep an eye out for that. But right now, Gouf able to get the early rush attack going. Both fighters still with plenty of health.
Yeah, so speaking of being grounded, you can see Gouf actually keeping his feet on the ground for most of this. He's levitating a little bit, but one of the most unique aspects of Dr. Coil is her ability to kind of sit in the air and just fly up there constantly. Looks like he doesn't think that's a good idea, and I think it's because of the Biffler, because it is such verticality, he's able to stuff him if he ever tries to go up there.
Gouf with the Tri-Blast and Toaster right now as Dr. Coil, able to get the early advantage in this one. However, Twin is Lollipop, full rush attack ready to go. Nice little 1-2 combo by the Biffler and Ice Dragon. That's going to go ahead and send Dr. Coil to the ground, but as we know, Dr. Coil, when she gets up, she'll be invisible for a moment.
Yeah, it gives her a chance to escape pressure, really get out of there. There's that rush combo, 325 plus the 20 damage off the grab right there. Gouf has got to figure something out. I think he's going to hold on to this rush until the next game. I mean, he's only one hit away from losing this one.
Lollipop just needs to connect with one more punch. However, Gouf trying to climb back into this one. 9 seconds left. Can Gouf do enough damage? Oh, this is a big-time rush attack. Will that do it? Is there enough time or damage? Gouf with the early advantage is coming down to one more punch. And no, Gouf, unbelievable comeback in the closing seconds of this one, courtesy of that rush attack to take the first round away from Twin and Lollipop.
Yeah, you said it. Totally unbelievable. He's able to escape that game. It looked really rough for him, but he's able to take the round. And I think a big part of that is Spring Stadium. The stadium is so small. Twin has really nowhere to escape to with such a defensive fighter like Lollipop, and it's giving Gouf a lot of pressure.
Dr. Coil and Gouf able to get some early damage on Twin and Lollipop. Both fighters, though, at about 75% health. 75 seconds left in this one. That charge Biffler connecting is going to make it a little hard to see. Let's turn on the wipers and get that off your screen. Meanwhile, the throw going to be missed by Dr. Coil, but there comes that Biffler once again. And honestly, for players this good, how much does that charge attribute of blinding the screen affect you?
Not especially. Honestly, at this level, these guys know each other so well, and they know the game that they can kind of still be able to see a little bit through there. It's more of the ability of the Biffler to knock Dr. Coil out of the air. I think that's why Twin took it. But, I mean, the Biffler, we could talk so much about high-level play and about how the blind doesn't really affect you, but in the moment, who can say?
Yeah, it's not convenient, let's be honest.
Let's say
Everybody
that,
wants a big bug on their windshield. Both fighters under 25% health. Rush attack ready to go for both of them. Gouf trying to go ahead and take this round to take the first game in this best of 5. Gouf, though, misses with the rush attack and then gets blocked by Lollipop and Twin and Lollipop Twin, however, trying to find Dr. Coil. Twin's got a rush attack. Might need to deploy it here soon if we want to hang on for the round victory. Oh, but that Ice Dragon just a little too slow. Coil and Gouf trying to close this one out. Just need a couple more punches on Twin and Lollipop. Meanwhile, that'll do it right there. That charged toaster shutting the door, and any comeback attempts for Twin and Lollipop. And the victory and the first game goes to Gouf and Dr. Coil.
I really think that stage was just not beneficial to Twin. I think he's going to have to hope for something a little bit better on this one. I think Spring Stadium is just so small that Lollipop can't really get her defensive game going, and I think that really was what told the story of that game.
And you mentioned the defensive game for Lollipop. One of those characters that really, in the hands of someone that likes to be a little bit more patient and defensive, can make life really difficult for anyone going against them. But as you said, the small stage and the fact that the spring sends you back, that's going to make it difficult to keep your distance. So let's see if Lollipop goes with anything differently. No, Twin's going to go with that Biffler once again and that Ice Dragon. Meanwhile, Gouf again going with the Tri-Blast and Toaster. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it here. Early advantage, though, in this one going to Gouf, as Gouf able to connect with a couple. However, that charged Ice Dragon by Twin can help slow things down.
Yeah, I really do think that this DNA lab, this stage, this random stage that they picked, I think this is going to be a lot better for Twin in terms of the matchup. I think Gouf won't be able to create as much pressure, stay right on him. You could see Twin kind of sitting back, trying to take his shots with the Biffler and the Ice Dragon, trying to slow things down. Both these guys have rush, but neither of them wanting to use it anytime soon.
You mentioned the difference in this stage. Twin is Lollipop already with an early advantage, has Gouf to under 50% health. Meanwhile, Lollipop, plenty of candy left on that lollipop as we still have over 75% health. 50 seconds left in this one. Both fighters with their rush attack ready to go. Will be interesting to see if Lollipop deploys. It doesn't seem like she needs to. Meanwhile, Gouf just trying to do all that he can. He might not even use his because he knows that it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, but this could get kind of scary because this is what happened in the first round of the last game, right? I mean, Gouf was starting to come back very slowly, and he was able to execute the rush at the end to be able to take it. Looks like that's not the story this time, though.
Lollipop able to close it out with a charged Ice Dragon. First round goes to Twin. Let's go ahead and get the second round started here. As we said, you've got the Tri-Blast and the Toaster, and Gouf with the early throw. That's going to do 150 damage. Both fighters without rush attack, and Gouf trying to close the gap and get a little bit closer and put some pressure on Lollipop as here comes the rush attack.
Yeah, he finally lets it rip, but that's the problem with the Tri-Blast. Just not great at rushing. They put on such horizontal pressure. They have the explosion attribute as well, so opponents can't block it as easily. But unfortunately, the rush is just not great on that move, as you can see from that rush right there.
Lollipop connects with the throw. Lollipop at about 50% health. Meanwhile, Gouf healthy at 75% at this point. 60 seconds left. Although the Ice Dragon and the Biffler connecting for over 300 damage. That's going to go ahead and send Gouf closer to a KO. Lollipop at about 50% health. Gouf down to now 50%. Let's see if that charged third arm can appear and help Gouf make another comeback. Gouf does have a rush attack ready to go. Gets the throw, about 40% health for Lollipop. Lollipop inflating herself right now, but there's the connection with the rush attack, and the advantage goes to Gouf with 35 seconds left.
And he throws out the grab. He knew that that would be all he needed, but Twin just had that well scouted. The Biffler lands. These guys are both so low. They're playing this game. There's the rush. Twin trying to close this one out, but unfortunately it does not connect.
22 seconds left. Twin just needs to connect with one punch. Gouf needs maybe two punches, but no, this throw from Gouf will do it. And that makes it 1 round to 1 round as we get set for a deciding round 3. Gouf looking to get his second game of this best-of-5 matchup. Meanwhile, Twin trying to even things up. If he can get this round, it will make it 1-1 overall in this match. Let's go ahead and pick this one up. No change in arms yet either. You've got that Tri-Blast and Toaster for Gouf, and you've got the Ice Dragon and the Biffler for Twin right now. And it seems like Twin seems to play much better when Twin can create some distance between himself and Gouf.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why this stage was so beneficial for Twin, and why he was able to take that first round, just because being able to sit back and being able to use his arms at a distance is really good, especially for an arm like the Ice Dragon. Unfortunately, now Gouf has sort of altered his playstyle. All of the pillars are gone. on, so Twin has to change his up as well.
And that's a huge change to this level and another variable you have to be presented for, because now Lollipop, a defensive character, doesn't have as much protection to hide behind. That Ice Dragon connects, though. That's going to go ahead and put the freeze on Gouf as Lollipop connects with the throw. Both fighters with the rush attack ready to go in this deciding round that could dictate the game here. And you've got Gouf with a nice little throw as well, too. And what are you seeing as we see that third charged arm pop up momentarily?
Honestly, Gouf is throwing out so many grabs here. I think he knows that Twin is trying to use that offensive block that Lola can do, where she can kind of move forward and move around even while blocking. Gouf has had that red. It looks like Twin has altered his playstyle, but there's another one right there as Gouf lands it. He has the rush. Twin does not. He's trying to get him in the corner, get him in a bad position. He finally does, but Twin is able to get that block up.
Twin able to avoid the rush attack. That's going to be some huge damage that you miss out on right there if you're Gouf. However, 13 seconds left. Twin's going to have to pick things up here quickly, or else Gouf might get the win due to default in time. Gouf with over 50% health, and if you're Gouf, you're looking pretty good right now, and that'll do it from Gouf. That connection with that right toaster will go ahead and take the round and take the second game, as Gouf leads 2-0 in our games over Lollipop and Twin at this point. So what we saw is Gouf able to read the playstyle of Twin and make a quick adjustment.
Yeah, it really looked like Twin had some signs of life in that last one. It looked like he might be able to do it after that first round, but then Gouf just, like you said, sort of reading the field, reading the situation, had his ear to the ground and said, all right, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take this next game.
And what's interesting is you saw Lollipop use that block, and then Gouf able to read that block and throw out a lot more throws. If you're Lollipop, can you then maybe try to bait Dr. Coil into throwing out some more throws by showing block and then canceling out of that as fast as possible?
Yeah, and it looked like he was starting to do that a little bit. Gouf was getting a little reckless with how many grabs he was throwing out, but unfortunately he had such a lead at that point that it didn't really make too much of a difference.
Well, Gouf and Twin making it easy for us, staying with the same arms. It's going to be the Tri-Blast and the Toaster for Dr. Coil and Gouf. Meanwhile, for Twin, it's the Ice Dragon and the Biffler. This time, though, we're in Misongo stage, and more pillars that can help Twin and Lollipop find some defensive cover.
Sure, the only issue is that it's still sort of a small stage comparatively. You can see Twin has his back to it. Meanwhile, Gouf is still sort of in his face. It can be very long, but it's very narrow at the same time. And if Gouf can sort of get the perpendicular angle on Twin, it's going to be very hard for him to get anything done.
Twin, though, a flawless round so far. Already has Gouf to about 30% health. Meanwhile, Twin doesn't have a scratch on him yet. Lollipop throwing out the throw, although that throw gets canceled out by a nice, timely charged rush attack right there. However, it doesn't do much damage. Twin still at over 90% health. Gouf down to 25% health. But there you see the third charge arm up here. Doesn't do any damage here. And then Twin, how about that? Just go ahead and make quick work of Gouf. A near-perfect victory for Lollipop and Twin.
Yeah, he just totally flipped the script on him on that one. It looked like this might have been a rougher stage, but Twin making the right adjustments. I think that he's got his head in the right place. Some people, you know, when you're down 2-0, sometimes you'll just sort of resign yourself, you know? Okay, it's over. But Twin, he's starting to fight back.
No change in arms for either character as we get set for a second round. Twin trying to win this game to make it 2-1 overall. Meanwhile, if Gouf can climb back and take the next two rounds, Gouf will advance to the semifinals. Early on, both fighters connect. Both fighters have a rush attack ready to go, so they're pretty balanced right now. Meanwhile, you've got Gouf with 75% health at this point, trying to keep Lollipop on the ropes, although that rush attack gonna miss, and Lollipop still has a fully charged rush attack in her quiver, ready to go at any point.
Yeah, that might have just knocked the wind out of his sails as this rush is gonna connect, getting 330 damage coming out from Twin right there. Gouf getting knocked out of that rush was the absolute worst thing that could happen to him, as Twin is looking for another almost perfect game.
Twin getting things done right now, looking to try and connect with either that Biffler, and does, and there's the victory right there. And, you know, we talk about a lot of variables that these fighters have to play with, and with this tournament, all of our fighters are back in the comfy confines of their own home right now. And with that, you're going to be online. And as you know, one of the aspects that you have with online play is some potential lag. And so we obviously credit the fighters for being able to hang in there, and you, our audience, for understanding that as well, too. And so we look at all the variables that these fighters have to overcome, and it just shows you how dynamic and capable they are.
Definitely. And just to let you guys know, we actually did run a connection test before the tournament. Everything came out great. These guys are no strangers to each other either. These guys invested in a LAN switch just to make sure that they'd be able to have the highest connection possible as we start out on the scrapyard stage for our potentially final game.
Right now, you've got 2-1 when it comes to games right now, as Gouf trying to get one more game and advance to the semifinals. Meanwhile, Twin made quick work of that last game to make it 2-1. Right now, you've got no change in arms once again. The Biffler and Ice Dragon for Twin and Lollipop. You've got the Tri-Blast and Toaster for Gouf and Dr. Coil. However, Twin right now using the distance and higher ground to Lollipop's advantage.
Yeah, really, that's what it's going to come down to, is how well Twin can do in terms of sort of sitting back, trying to force Gouf to come to him. You can see him at that higher ground. That's such an important distinction, is that if you're on that higher ground, it forces your opponent to punch up at you, which can be much more difficult.
Gouf connecting with the rush attack, courtesy of Dr. Coil. How about that prescription for you? Twin underneath 25% health at this point. Gouf staying nice and healthy at 60%, 47 seconds left in this one. A couple more punches from Gouf will send Twin to the floor with the KO. Gouf trying to dodge around these pillars, trying to connect with that Tri-Blast. That Tri-Blast not doing any damage right there. That Ice Dragon missing right there. Right Toaster ready to go for Gouf and Dr. Coil, and that will do it, though. The Tri-Blast connecting with the left, and these players are so good at aiming their punches as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy feat to hit some of the best players in the world sort of dodging around these pillars, but Gouf was able to make it to happen. And honestly, one of the biggest things to take away from that last match is Gouf was able to get his rush back. Meanwhile, Twin was sitting on his forever.
That's so true, and Twin not able to connect with that rush attack right there, so that's going to bode very well for Gouf, who has a rush attack hot and piping, ready to go. Misses with the throw, Lollipop dodging and left and right, missing with that Biffler right now. And Lollipop doing a good job of staking to the higher ground, as we mentioned. Dr. Coil just hanging on to that rush attack, trying to use it. And there's the opening that you're looking for, and Dr. Coil is going to step in through that door with a fresh delivery of a rush attack.
So one of the things that you're going to have to realize if you're Twin is that Gouf, whenever he has a rush, he's throwing out a million grabs. And the reason he does it is because he knows he can instantly retract his arm with a rush. So if Twin throws out an arm trying to stop it, he's able to use that option select and totally blow him up. Meanwhile, Twin using a rush of his own, not really getting a lot out of it.
Twin trying to hang on for his tournament hopes. Meanwhile, Gouf, if he can get the KO right here, will advance to the semifinals. A couple punches left for Twin. If Gouf can connect on these, Gouf will advance. However, nice little 1-2 combo by Twin, trying to stay alive. However, Gouf has that rush attack ready to go. And here comes the rush attack from Gouf. Is it going to be enough to get the KO? No. Gouf trying to time that throw. Lollipop able to counter, and there's the throw. Not only will it get the KO, but Dr. Coil and Gouf will go ahead and throw Twin out of this tournament and move on to the semifinals.
And you can see Twin just in desperation trying to get that rush up. He was so close. If he had it, he might have been able to clinch that one out, but just not letting it happen. You can see Dr. Coil just elated at this prospect as Gouf is going to advance in the tournament.
And it seemed like Gouf throughout this match really had a chance to learn the play style of Twin and Lollipop and understood, okay, I need to throw out a couple more throws because I see Lollipop blocking, and when I can get close to Lollipop, really try to put some pressure on, because Lollipop and Twin really wanted to stay at higher ground and keep their distance.
Yeah, it really just speaks to how important it was for Gouf to be able to close that distance, trying to create that pressure with that Tri-Blast. And all those grabs throwing out, it seemed like it was almost like a novice strategy. You're just throwing out a billion grabs. You know they're going to get stuff, but Gouf had a plan in mind, and he executed awesome stuff.
Once again, another match where they stuck with their same arms throughout the entire match, so you saw that there was a lot of consistency right there and some great matches. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket right now. Gouf with a U advances. Is it Gouf? We're just going to go with Gouf.
It's just
right
extra
there.
goofy.
Just
That's
extra
what it
goofy
is.
right there. Yeah, of course you'd spell your name Goofy. Gouf advances to the semifinals, which brings us to our fourth match of the opening round, SirRosa versus Gryff. And you look at the information on these fighters, what are we expecting to see here?
So SirRosa actually coming through, he does play a very strong Master Mummy. I want to see if that's what we're going to see here.
Heavyweights.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
There
He's got it
is.
locked in. So the reason I wasn't sure is because he also plays Twin Tail, but Master Mummy, such a unique character, going to be awesome to see here.
Master Mummy and SirRosa going to go with the cracker in the left arm. And then meanwhile, you've got Gryff that is, once again, going with one of the faster arms here, one of the newer ones, the Scully. Tell us about the Scully and that poison attribute and how that can come into play here.
Right, so the Scully is really what it's marketed as in terms of the ARMS universe is it's just so stripped down. So it's incredibly fast. It does have the poison tick. And I think we saw this earlier from one of our fighters using that Scully, so I'm really glad to see it here. You can see as SirRosa's health is slowly ticked away. I believe that's going to get 12 damage off, but as you can see from Master Mummy, if he's able to block a little bit, he gets 10 health back. So really, it's no sweat off his back.
And Master Mummy going to use every opportunity to regenerate some of that health right there. However, that poison chipping away, and you see that poison ticker increases every time you connect with another charged poison shot.
Exactly, yeah.
Right now, 52 seconds left. SirRosa at about 60% health. Meanwhile, Gryff at about 50% with Dr. Coil. And you've got Master Mummy that's really doing a fine job of bobbing and weaving despite his size and hitbox right now. Got a rush attack ready to go, and you know how dangerous that can be if Master Mummy can connect those throws as well, too. Yes. They're going to do 200 damage. So if you're Dr. Coil, you want to avoid those.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's going to be pretty well suited to avoid that just because his character can levitate and sort of move around in unpredictable ways. I think this can be hard for Mummy as he does land that grab right there. He's sitting on the rush as well. And also, SirRosa has a very bad positional disadvantage because he's outside of the ring.
Absolutely, and Gryff able to take advantage of that with the critical throw. SirRosa down to about 20% health as we get down to the final 10 seconds, slowly trying to regenerate, but might not be enough with only 6 seconds left. One throw could do it. However, SirRosa looks like it's not going to be enough left in the tank as Dr. Coil and Gryff going to go ahead and get the victory due to the health advantage as time goes down. First round on this one goes to Gryff and Dr. Coil. And so we saw that strategy from SirRosa going with that cracker and then also trying to once again really keep Gryff at bay using the larger size of what Master Mummy can do.
Right, and it looks like he's swapped out to the bub on this one. I think he realized that the light arm of the cracker was getting blown through in a lot of instances, and I think that's why he switched it up, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's panning out too well for him as he's already below half health.
And you've already got Gryff and Dr. Coil making quick work. That poison attribute just going to chip away, so really going to negate some of that blocking and regeneration ability of Master Mummy. Meanwhile, Gryff and Dr. Coil just keeping their distance and just kind of poking away. And here comes the throw. However, that was baited in by SirRosa. Counters with the rush attack, but too much distance to make that call right there as Master Mummy is left to just sort of sit back and turtle and gain some health back. But the rush attack from Gryff and Dr. Coil is going to really put Master Mummy in a difficult position.
Yeah, he's just outside of the ring. He gets grabbed. Gryff going to end this one cleanly with about 90% health. Just very unfortunate. He didn't really execute on his Master Mummy strategy, and I think that was really more to Gryff's ability to not let him do it. No grabs landed. He wasn't able to heal for that much. Just looked really rough for him out there.
And for Master Mummy, are you going to want to really play up close and pressure the opponent when you know how much damage you can take, the fact you aren't going to flinch from non-charged punches, or do you want to keep your distance so you have some breathing room to regenerate that health?
I really think that he's more of a defensive fighter because he does have that regenerative ability. I think if you're going to go for a heavyweight that's a little bit more aggressive and oppressive, I think you want to pick Max Brass just because he knocks you down and then he gets that huge charge where he's able to not flinch and he's able to get those grabs. I think Mummy is better played sort of sitting back, but as you saw right there, there's still ways to get through that defense.
As we saw Gryff and Dr. Coil doing a fine job of keeping their distance. And how about our first character switch within a match? SirRosa going to switch to Mechanica. Some of the same properties as Master Mummy. Is one of the heavier characters, going to go with that bub in the left arm and then going with the Hydra in the right. But how might Mechanica fare differently than Master Mummy versus Dr. Coil and Gryff?
Well, Mechanica has the ability to levitate as well, so he's going to be able to get up in the air. He's not able to do it indefinitely like Dr. Coil is, but he is able to sort of match that. I'm more interested actually in this Hydra pickup because it does have such a vertical arc to it that it should be able to knock Gryff out of the air if SirRosa uses it correctly, just like that.
And that's what we're seeing early on. SirRosa able to ground Dr. Coil with that Hydra and a couple of those charge connections as well, too. However, Dr. Coil sitting back and using that really fast Scully to kind of poke away at SirRosa and get that poison attribute, and then trying to then connect with that Ram on the left-hand side and go around the pillars.
And you could see Gryff sort of sitting behind those pillars trying to make something happen. SirRosa doing it of his own. An excellent dodge right through that grab. You can punch through the grab, but if you're able to dodge out of it, you can get a much stronger punish.
And a nice little combination there by Gryff and Dr. Coil, able to get the rush attack on SirRosa down to about 30% health, 35 seconds left in this one. Gryff at about 45% health, so this one's closer than it looks. Gryff able to connect with that charged Scully, though. It's going to do a little bit of damage and that chip damage. And right now, you've got SirRosa unable to connect, but this rush attack, oh, this might turn the tables, but no, both fighters basically equal at this point. 17 seconds left. Next couple of connections are going to be huge right now. Gryff, Dr. Coil keeping their distance. Meanwhile, Mechanica, SirRosa missing with that Hydra, missing with that bub as well, too. But the poison might be enough to tick away at SirRosa, and just like a little prick of the finger, unfortunately, that'll do. Oh, no, SirRosa able to connect. Let's see what this one comes down to. Hold on. We got to wait after this replay's done.
Mechanica.
I think
Mechanica won it.
I think when you look at the body language of Mechanica after that victory. So how about that? Coming down to the wire, you had that almost ticking time bomb of the poison that might have grabbed SirRosa, but SirRosa able to get that last little punch.
Yeah, we definitely thought that that poison was going to be enough to do it, but awesome stuff to SirRosa, able to make it happen. Gryff starting this one out with the rush. SirRosa answering back. He's not going to get a big one, though, because the Hydra wasn't fully active, but still, 335, that's nothing to sneeze at.
SirRosa at about 60% health. Gryff and Dr. Coil at about 50%. 75 seconds left in this one. Plenty of time. SirRosa trying to take this round and make it 1-1 as far as the games go in this matchup between these two in our final opening round matchup. 68 seconds left. However, Gryff, Dr. Coil already to under 25% health. SirRosa trying to keep Dr. Coil at bay right now, but Dr. Coil fighting back right now, gets that charge Ram to connect, but then here comes SirRosa. Full rush meter ready to go. Dr. Coil unleashes the rush attack. Is that going to be enough? And yes, Dr. Coil with a critical rush attack right at the moment to turn the tables and steal this round.
That was just huge damage coming out from those arms right there. You could see he actually switched away from the skull. He wanted to go for more of a boomerang type arc. He didn't need anything so direct, and I think part of that is because Mechanica she doesn't flinch from those hits if they're uncharged. Looks like he's gone back to it this time, trying to switch up his strategy.
Mechanica swing and a miss there with the rush attack. That's going to just do a little bit of chip damage and a nice little 1-2 connection by Gryff with that Scully and that Ram. You see the poison damage start to chip away at SirRosa. SirRosa, though, keeping things at bay, starting to get a couple connections on Gryff, knocking Gryff down, and already Gryff at about 50% health, SirRosa at 75%. We still have plenty of time left in this matchup. Gryff, full rush meter, ready to go. SirRosa, full rush meter, ready to go. Both of them deployed at the same time, but it's going to be Dr. Coil getting the advantage here, sending SirRosa down, and the throw from Gryff.
Yeah, Gryff just got an and one on that one, is able to get so much damage from that. But honestly, it doesn't look that crazy in terms of the health differential. If SirRosa can land maybe one more charge punch and then a grab, he should be just fine. As that one lands, that's 100 damage right there. SirRosa not out of this by any means.
Gryff gets the poison to connect with SirRosa, though. SirRosa trying to dodge and weave and avoid another connection with that Hydra. They're both down to about 25% health, but the difference could be SirRosa with the rush attack ready to go.
He's got to
use it at this point.
Yeah,
you got to let that bird fly. They both go at the same time, and it's Dr. Coil and Gryff once again that win the head-to-head matchup of rush attacks, and that's going to allow Dr. Coil and Gryff to steal the second game and make it 2-0. And you were saying it right there. You have to go with that rush attack before your opponent has one to counter you, and you could have really turned the tide of that match and maybe stolen one because you would have made it 1-1 in the game. Now you're down 2-0 in the games, having to win 3 straight to move to the next round.
I mean, he had to let it rip right away. He had to pull the trigger as soon as he had the opportunity because he hesitated a little bit because he wanted to wait for the right opportunity. Because of that, Gryff was able to get a rush of his own and was able to fire back, and now he's up 2-0 as we start out on Ribbon Ring.
And really, that last round came down to Gryff's ability with Dr. Coil to overmatch SirRosa and Mechanica on both those rush attacks. That turned the tide of that one there. If SirRosa can win, he'll stay alive. However, Gryff can get the victory in this game, he'll move on to the semifinals. And you look at no real change in the arms here either. However, you've got that Scully, which continues to not do a lot of damage, but it's that chip damage with the poison and just enough to keep SirRosa and Mechanica occupied.
Yeah, it does add up over time. 12 damage doesn't sound like a lot, but that's basically, a tenth of a hit. And that stuff can add up very quickly as 245 coming out from that rush there.
And you look at the faster rush attack because of that Scully as well too. You want to certainly connect with those, whether it's 245 or 300. That's a lot of damage, and you don't mind taking a bite that big. However, SirRosa can't connect with the rush attack and Mechanica. 50 seconds left. Mechanica and SirRosa under 50% health. SirRosa comfortably at about 65%. 45 seconds left in this one. And once again, just the chip damage that we're seeing from the poison attribute has really been beneficial to Gryff.
Absolutely, and you could see he sort of went away from that arm in one round, went for the double boomerang, but it did not plan out for him. And as he gets this rush right there, SirRosa with just a little bit of health, he's going to need a miracle to bring this one back.
SirRosa really needs all the help that he can get right now. Gryff is just going to take one little prick from the Scully, and that'll do it to go ahead and take this round, and Gryff is now just one round away from advancing to the semifinals. And it seems like that Scully is really coming in handy to not only just keep some constant damage going against SirRosa and Mechanica, but it helps Gryff come in so much faster with those rush attacks as we see 2 Scullys now.
Oh, wow, so this is a total change for him. This is going to put him at, I think, quite a bit of a disadvantage in terms of the arms just because SirRosa has the medium arm on the left. He does have the light arm on the right, but that's just going to cancel each other out. So he's putting, you can see it right there, both of his punches just getting deflected.
And that's what's difficult. Those Scullies are going to be fast, but they will not be able to penetrate that Bub or that Hydra either for Mechanica. And right now you see SirRosa making quick work and just laughing at the Scully. SirRosa with 75% health and Gryff already down to about 15%. Those Scullies are quick, but they're not doing enough damage right now at this point. And just like that, SirRosa Mechanica gets the victory. I doubt we'll see those two Scullies again the next round.
No, I think that was an ill-advised decision. I mean, especially against Mechanica, you really have to charge up that punch to get any kind of leverage, because if you look at it, she's just going to shrug that off. She's not going to take anything. You have to get the hard knockdown, as he did right there.
Gryff going with that Ram once again, and that's helping. Also in that rush attack, you're seeing that Ram going around the outside and able to connect to keep that rush attack damage going at that meantime. You've got Gryff avoiding the rush attack from SirRosa.
Right now, SirRosa with no rush. Gryff, same on his part. These guys trying to charge it up as best they can. That's why they're sort of sitting back and throwing out these arms. Gryff's arm is a little damaged, but I don't think he's going to take too much from it. Unfortunately, he doesn't feel safe to block. He's going to take damage that way.
Gryff needs one more round to advance to the semifinals. SirRosa, if he can take this round, he'll stay alive in our final opening round matchup. Here comes the rush attack from SirRosa. That connects against Gryff. However, Gryff still has the advantage and the rush attack. Right now, just looking for a moment to deploy it. Gryff looking to try and advance to the semifinals right here. Mechanica and SirRosa trying to stay alive, but no! Here comes the throw, and all it's going to be is a rush attack and some chip damage away, standing between Gryff and the semifinals. But no, huge connection by SirRosa to cancel out that rush attack. But once again, that Scully does what it does best. It just sort of pokes at you like your annoying little sibling until you finally get tired of it and you have to sit out.
Yeah, so incredibly fast on that. It did look like SirRosa had chances. He had a sign of life there as he was able to stuff that last rush. Like you said, I thought he was going to pop it right away and just get the chip damage, but he sort of waited for his opportunity. Unfortunately, it was not enough as Gryff is going to advance.
And you point out a very good point of this, the fact that these were such balanced matches. Now, yes, you do get the 3-0 sweep for Gryff right there, but I thought it was really in the second game where SirRosa was up, just needed one more round, had the rush attack ready to go. Gryff didn't have his ready to go. You could have at least done a lot of chip damage, but you don't deploy the shoot in time, and unfortunately, it's a rough landing for SirRosa as he gets eliminated.
Yeah, just so unfortunate. When you're in the moment, sometimes you don't notice stuff like that. But good stuff to Gryff. Good presence of mind as he throws out the arm, and he got the rush just off that one punch. He was able to make it happen. So he's going to advance. SirRosa, of course, you know, no shame in falling to a respectable player like that.
And you also saw Gryff try to go with those double Scullies, had no success, and wasn't going to try and force a square peg into a round hole, and says, I'm going to just go back to what's been worked with me. I'm going to go with that Ram and Scully and find some success.